If you're the kind of person who orders the same thing off the menu every time you go to eat, well, this place is definitely not for you. But if you want to try something new every time, then you need to try the Row House. Its chef never, and I mean never, makes the same thing twice.
All right, so a couple of things that we always do here. I'm going to show you some dishes that are on this week's menu. Since it changes every week, I always like to make sure that people see just a little bit of what we do. We always start every meal with, we call it the taste. I usually call it a snack, but fancy places call it an amuse-bouche. It's just a simple, usually one bite dish. I just started making a place that would have all of the favorite things that I've ever been to put into one place.
And Greg Fox has experienced a lot of really great places. He's worked in restaurants everywhere from New York to Nashville and is constantly on the lookout for new and unique things to make.
My favorite oil is I like the extra light tasting. It makes things taste and not the oil taste.
The Row House features foods from places like Morocco, Thailand, and Argentina, combined with a lot of traditional American dishes too.
Now, how do you come up with ideas to put on the menus?
Well, like this last weekend, I went to Chicago, and I go out and eat is a lot of it, but I also, I'm a cookbook fanatic. I'm just always looking through cookbooks and magazines, and sometimes thoughts just pop in, and we put them on the menu the next time.
Constantly coming up with new ideas might freak some chefs out, but not Greg. He says he loves the freedom to be creative.
I'm an adrenaline junkie, so yeah, I like it.
The menu changes weekly and features 7 full courses.
I like that we slow people down because we do multiple courses, and they're small. They're not things that are overwhelming. I don't like when people leave just stuffed. And when you first sit down, you'd get a little dish like that. So, marinated feta cheese. It's got a pickled red onion and carrot salad with dill on top. So that's kind of one of the adventures we do at Row House. So the start's always similar to that.
The first night of each menu change, customers get to sample every dish on it.
Well, actually, Wednesday nights, they know they're the guinea pig. That's kind of our treat here. It's called Preview Night, and it's a discounted price. And now, it's not like it was in the beginning, but at the beginning, I would, sometimes it didn't work out. I mean, it would always be delicious, because I'm still tasting it before it comes out, but sometimes, Thursdays when I perfect the plate, sometimes Wednesday you'd put it on the plate and be like, but people really gravitated toward it. Wednesday's our busiest night, which is weird for a restaurant because the idea of the preview really sold, and I think people liked watching me completely freaked out. Sometimes on Wednesdays I would be in the kitchen I couldn't even speak. The guys would be like, what do we do now? I'm like, I'm not sure yet. Hold on. I don't know.
Whether you go on Wednesday night or on the weekend, the Row House is truly one of the most unique dining experiences you'll ever have. And it's different every time.
I like that, and I like that our food's adventurous but comfort food based. So I never go so far out on a limb that I'm going to make people that might not get to go out that often uncomfortable. It's a very easy menu to like. I don't try to push the limits too far, but I still like it to come to the plate like it's been on the Food Channel. This dressing is made, and I do a lot of jam dressings, I call them, but it's got wild blueberry preserves, and then it's got 1 part of blueberry preserves, 1 part of balsamic vinegar, and 3 parts of oil. And you can make a lot or you can make a little bit. I always measure in parts, and it's got a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt, and that's all that goes in it. And it's a favorite salad around here. So.
And as good as things taste, you'll have a hard time believing the food is actually good for your body too.
I try to keep things healthful. People don't realize it, but we're pretty much a vegetarian restaurant that has 2 meats on the menu, and they're the entrees.
They bake their own breads and use only healthy oils. Although he's an amazing and extremely creative chef, Greg says that's not what he originally set out to be. He grew up in Topeka but left in 1989.
I went to New York to be an actor. And when you're working as an actor, you also tend to work in a lot of restaurants as you're getting your resume built up. So I started cooking more in New York, and I worked at some really great places.
Then Greg decided to move to Nashville to pursue a music career.
and I worked in the best hotels, the nice places, and I'd always wanted to cook, and it just seemed to be becoming easier to me, the cooking part. And
So he joined forces with a partner and opened his first restaurant. It did extremely well, but Greg says he felt a strong pull to come back home again and open a restaurant here.
everybody told me there was no way, but I got the same reaction when I opened my last place. And we have those little alphabet letters from kids play with, and they're on our refrigerator, and the motto was always have faith. And so I just kept thinking, what if it doesn't work? I said, what's the worst thing that could happen? I could live here. I mean, I really did think that. I was like, when I'm taking things out, I'm thinking, well, I could put a bed over there, and if I make sure the kitchen's pretty good, we'll fix this here. So I had a backup plan, but I believed in the idea 100%.
It's not just the food that's unique, so is the building itself. This restaurant is housed in a row house that was built in 1876 by William and Edmund Ross.
And they were pretty pivotal in Kansas's formation, especially Topeka. They were here right as Kansas became a state in 1861.
You enter the bar known as Below the Row through red velvet curtains. It's cozy and quiet now, but it wasn't always that way.
This was the last project because when I got it, I just thought, well, there's no way this is going to happen, because it had dirt floors. It looked like it'd been ransacked, or like a bomb went off in here, because it was. This is all the original wood that you see around, but the holes are patched with tin cans, and we continued to do that when we remodeled. We kept any patches with tin cans and painted over them. There's dents in the walls, but it was just not believable that we could fix it. And when we were bursting at the seams for just a little more room, we used the same mantra, and I thought, let's just go in and see what we can do.
And this is the result. It's now one of the most popular places people request to sit.
Of course, I wanted the environment to be like no other, and I wanted the food to be like no other, and I wanted the staff to be like nobody else.
Well, if those were his goals, he's definitely achieved them. If you'd like to try the Row House for yourself, it's on Van Buren Street, just a few blocks from the Capitol building in Topeka. Be sure to call ahead for reservations. It books up pretty quickly.